Welcome to the Early Education Conversation, where we explore the transformative power of early learning through conversations with educators, thought leaders, and members of our community. Today, Aruna Gilbert, our Chief Program and Policy Officer, is joined by Caleb Wesco, speaker, children's book author, and father, and Sunil Gunderia, Chief Innovation Officer at Age of Learning. This podcast was recorded at our annual Empower Conference.
Hi, I'm Aruna Gilbert. I'm the Chief Program and Policy Officer at the Early Learning Coalition of Palm Beach County. And I'm here at the Empower 25 conference with our keynote speaker, Caleb Wesco, and our marquee sponsor, Sunil Gunderia from Age of Learning. So today we're really celebrating all things providers, and we're really looking to see, what do we want to talk about and what do we care about early learning? So Sunil, tell me, what does early learning mean to you?
Early learning means to me an incredible time for opportunity to invest when a child's mind is best receptive to it. We as humans, 90% of our neurological connections are made in the first 5 years of our lives. So investing at that time, there's a lot of scientific evidence that investing at that time has the greatest societal return, not only in terms of educational outcomes, but also in terms of social outcomes like health, alleviation of poverty. And so what it means is that really focusing in that area of early learning is where we can have outside benefits for our children. So we're not just preparing them for school, but we're preparing them best for life.
Awesome. Caleb, how about you? What does early learning mean to you?
Early learning means a little bit more personal to me because I actually have two kids. And the two kids are actually going through the early learning phase, actually the systems and the procedures, but not only that, some of the things even from Age of Learning himself. So what early learning means to me is my child's future is secure because it's being literally taught to them. They're being brought up. I see their development. I see their growth. So it's literally the success of my children, which is the success of the future of the next generation. So it's an amazing thing.
That's amazing. It's amazing to hear about your child. So tell me, what does, when you think about your child in a child care center and you think of that child's teacher, what do you think that teacher is doing for that child and for you for the future?
Funny thing is that I am a person, I am not controlling, but I like to be in control of things. So it was hard when I had to let my daughter go because I was responsible for teaching colors and teaching things and stuff. But now when I had to let them go, but when the educator told us I'm going to treat her as my own, it was hard for the first 2 weeks. But then after that, as I began to hear her have different vocabulary words, say different colors, use different phrases and stuff, it shows that the educators that are taking care of them, they're moving them up to the levels they need to be, that by the time they go into, from VPK to kindergarten to, upper levels of education, that they can be proficient, and not only that, but also excel in there. So seeing the educators take them from where they are to where they need to be, it's a thing of, from a parent, you can let your shoulders down a little bit, but then not only that, but to watch your child grow, it's an amazing thing. So.
That's amazing. So Sunil, you are with a company that, made products that we're using in Palm Beach County for math and reading. So when you hear a parent say that, what does that mean to you, and how did you use parent information or how parents feel about their children to drive how your products were made?
Sure. So the background of our company, Age of Learning, is ABC Mouse. So we have been working with parents for well over 15 years and really have gained their trust as creating a product that engages a child in learning and helps them develop a lot of what Caleb was talking about and supports them. So on that trust and starting to work with the Early Learning Coalition and you, Aruna, and your team, it's been, how do we now take that trust we've developed with parents and bring it to this essential role that educators provide in the education of Caleb's children and all children in terms of building that relationship of trust, not only for our products with, like My Math and My Reading Academy, with the educator, but then that educator with that child, and then helping them understand better what that child is capable
Sure.
of by providing them data that they need to differentiate that instruction for not only Caleb's children, but for every child in that classroom, and really giving them what they need to learn next based on all what they already know.
Yeah.
To me and to us, that is something that, empowering the educator is really core to what we do and drives the results that we see with our product.
Yeah. And so this is something that, in Palm Beach County, we recently hit, if you're using Age of Learning, My Reading and My Math Academy, 80% of our children are ready to learn if you're using it with fidelity. And that's something really amazing, right? So when I think about early learning, what I think about is how can we capitalize on the fact that your brain is moving at the speed of light between birth and 5, right? And so how can we capitalize on that time and really accelerate learning? And so as I'm thinking about what we are doing in the classrooms and what our teachers are doing, do either of you have any commentary about what you think the next step should be for us at the Early Learning Coalition in terms of readiness?
I believe that, and coming from the parent standpoint, it's empowering, as we're doing today, empowering the educators that these children are learning at such a rapid speed, some actually probably faster than the past generation, because they have all this technology. They have more exposure to everything. So it's empowering the educators, letting them know that you make a difference.
Right.
What you teach makes a difference. Sometimes, it may feel like I'm not making enough impact or anything, but like, no, you make a difference. You showing up for these students, this is literally gonna build like infrastructure for things that we are not even ready for, because these kids are completely different, but they learn so quick. So if you can throw something advanced at them, it's okay because they can take it, right?
Yeah.
But not only that, but also pushing amongst just from the boundary of, I don't know if they can do it. No, they can. They can handle it, but then we have to have the people in place to say, you know what, I believe in your child. I believe in what they can do, and I can believe in the future, and I believe in the systems that have been put in place to take them to the next level. So empowering the educators, let them know they make a difference.
Awesome. And how do we do that? How do we empower educators?
I think we continue to build on what we're already doing, which is to spend time with them, help them understand the data. Now that they've bought into the results are there, that look, the children in my classroom, my students, are seeing outsized impact because they're using my math, my reading academy. Now what else can I do with that data? How can I use that data to further help them grow beyond not just being kindergarten ready, but kindergarten skills, first grade skills that are definitely capable, that can happen with our programs. And further, Caleb, you talk to, and we talk about this a lot, Aruna, is like, how do we bring parents more into the fold? Because it's an ecosystem, and learning happens that way. So it is the parent, it's the educator, and the student's own confidence in their learning, and to be able to use data that we're able to create and the teacher's able to provide to parents to say, look, at a minimum, if your child, learns, the letters in their name, congratulate them. Say, wow, I heard you had this achievement. Reinforce that for them, that this learning that you're doing in school is not just important for school, but it's important to me, and it's important to your life. And then have them do that for you. Make it so that education for them is something that you as a parent take a lot of pride in. So it takes, it's the teacher plus the parent plus the child and their own attitude about their confidence in themselves as a learner, as well as their ability to learn and their love of reading and math. Get that started early, because that's the type of thing that's going to pay dividends across the child's life.
So, in Palm Beach County, it was a leap for us to use technology in classrooms, as you know. And, many people wondered why we were using technology in classrooms. And for me, it was really an opportunity for just a very short period of time, 20 minutes a day or less, that allows a child, all children, to get an equal step in education, right? So all children have the ability to then look at this product, use this product, and kind of equalize starting from where they were at. And so for me, that was tremendously important. But I wondered as a parent, when you heard your child was going to be on a tablet in a classroom, what came up for you?
Well, and for my family, we tried not to do the tablets at first, because when you go to restaurants usually when you look around, everybody is heads down. However, when it came to it, it's necessary for them to use it because when it's not so much the tablet, but it's what's on the tablet. So what's on the tablet is growing their knowledge, growing their vocabulary, growing what they even say that I didn't know I can do this and stuff. And daddy, watch this and stuff. And now they're showing me. And I'm like, yeah, do that again, right? When they're showing me, it's showing me this, is that technology is literally bringing our children to the next level. Yeah. Technology is growing their minds and stuff. And then not only that, but there was a meeting that I went to yesterday where I found out that there are about 5,200 children in the Palm Beach County School District that are homeless. So they may not have this technology. So when they come to school and they're able to work with it and stuff, it's opening up a new possibility that tomorrow is different for me. And that can't be possible if, the company, Age of Learning, it doesn't put these things out there. So to me, not only is it important for me and my children, but also for the children that I go out and serve as well.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. I love that. I love hearing that. When you were building this product, right, the mastermind behind this product, right? So when you were
a great team.
With a great team, but when you were building that product, did you think about that? Did you think about what people would say about young ones, early learners being on tablets?
We thought a lot about it, and we thought a lot about it because we brought in, as I said, a great team. So my opportunity was to realize that, look, I don't know what's going to work, but I can hire people that do. So we brought in developmental psychologists from an early age, from an early time when we started, who had a lot of experience with young kids, who then when we went through the process, we were really being intentional in terms of prototyping with young children. I remember well like how satisfying it was, and also how frustrating sometimes when we had 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds come into our office with their parents and go into our playtest room and being behind the glass so you could watch them, and they would take what a designer had done and built really carefully and was really excited about and be like, no, I don't like this. But that's what we learned from. So we knew what was appropriate for a 4 and 5-year-old. And also we were very intentional about, we knew we needed to get results in terms of a limited amount of interactivity that produce a lot of gains. Not only for use at home with parents, but also in schools. We knew that we had a limited window, as we've seen, and in terms of teachers' time and instructional time to actually make an impact. And you talked about the results here in Palm Beach with the 80% of that were kindergarten ready. That was 27% better than those that didn't use My Reading Academy this last year. Absolutely. And it took 37 minutes a week to get those results. So very well within any sort of guidelines that are provided in terms of how much screen time usage there should be, and specifically like having something that's really intentional and evidence-based and says with 37 minutes it's going to work, really opens up the opportunity. And I think, Caleb, as a parent, you'd be like, I get that, 37 minutes a week, it's intentional, it was built to make them better readers, better mathematicians. You're like, I can understand how that's something I want to use with my child.
That child confidence and teacher confidence.
100%.
Teachers knowing what to do in the classroom, they can see the data and they can really drive that. That's really tremendously important. So before we wrap up, what's one thing you would say to a teacher? Look straight in the mic and tell them, what would you say to the teacher of your child?
First of all, thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for overcoming the times where, it's like, I want to go through burnout and stuff, because from my children, but not only that, from the parents that are all around, we need you. We need you to make sure that, you're pushing the basics of pen and paper, but also being innovative and using the technology that is literally carrying us off to the next generation. So for those, you matter, you're important, you're essential. And not only that, but you are making a difference. And with the technology in the classroom, it's now enhancing the experience for not only my child, but children around the world. So thank you from one dad to you educators. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Same with you, Sunil.
That's great. And what I'd say is you as educators are the essential element to any of the results we've seen. Without you, we wouldn't have got there. And as I think about this investment in in early childhood and early childhood learning, the role you serve is that you are literally the human infrastructure that ensures that the most valuable asset that we have as a nation and a country, which is our children, are well served and are put in a position to thrive. So thank you for all that work you do with our most valuable asset.
And so from the coalition, I would say that, I go around the state talking about what we do in Palm Beach County all the time. And what I would say to you is I say this all the time. We are the best coalition in Florida, in the nation. It is true. Thank you, Caleb. And we are not that without you. And so I would say thank you very much. Enjoy this month. I know you'll see us in the community here and there. Come back and see us the next time we have our next podcast. Thank you to both of you for spending this time at Empower 25 with us.